Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar on unlocking reporting with Acumatica Generic Inquiry and Power BI. My name is Eric Hasimin, and I am a technical consultant specializing in Acumatica ERP customizations, reporting, and business intelligence solutions. I work closely with organizations to help them improve operational visibility and decision making through effective use of data and technology. I'd also like to introduce my colleague, Putri Ainurul Iza, who will be leading today's session as she is the technical consultant specializing in Acumatica ERP solutions as well, with extensive experience in implementations, reporting, and business intelligence. Throughout the session, she will be sharing practical demonstrations and some of the real-world examples from client engagements. Okay. Today's webinar provides a practical introduction to two powerful reporting and analytics tools, Acumatica General Inquiry and Power BI. We will start by learning how to build flexible business inquiries in Acumatica using generic inquiry without coding. From there, we will explore how to connect and analyze data across different areas of the system to gain better visibility and insight. Finally, we will look at how to bring this data into Power BI to build interactive dashboards that support business decision making. Okay? And we also have some of the AI quick insight in Acumatica. Okay, and last but not least would be the Q&A session. Whether you are a business user, system administrator, or consultant, today's session is designed to help you make a better use of your Acumatica data for reporting and analysis. Before we begin, a few housekeeping items. Please submit questions through the Teams chat section throughout the session. We will address them during the Q&A segment at the end of the webinar. The demonstration environment is hosted locally, so we may occasionally experience slight delays during navigation or data retrieval. To ensure we cover all planned topics, we may defer detailed or environment-specific discussions until after the session. As this is a live demonstration, we appreciate your patience should any unexpected technical issues arise. Without further ado, let's get started. So I will hand over the platform to my colleague, Putri.
Thank you, Eric, for the introduction. My name is Putri, and thank you to all again for joining this webinar. Before we dive into the demo, first, let me tell you a little bit about generic inquiry, or we call it as GI. What is GI? Basically, GI is a tool that helps you to ask questions from your own business data and display the answer in a meaningful way. Why is it important for you to learn this? Instead of manually searching through different screens or exporting data to Excel, we can use generic inquiry to create our own view of the information we need. Also, you don't need technical user to build this GI for you because this GI does not need coding skill. How cool is that? Let's start Let's start with the tips and tricks. So, of course, you need to know the name of the table, right? So, all you have to do is just tap on your keyboard, Control, Alternate, and click. Or option two, you can go to the customization on the top right and click at Inspect Element. You can see at your cursor have question mark when you hover above the name. Let me show you the example. So, you can go to Inspect Element and you hover above the name, you can see the question mark and you will see the table name. So the data class is also another name for the table name. Okay. So this is page generic inquiry. So first, how you want to view the generic inquiry, all you have to do is search at search bar and type generic inquiry. So I will explain each of these functions one by one, but first I will tell you that this is classic UI, which what most of you are currently use. So let's start with the inquiry title. So inquiry title is the name of the GI, of your GI. Basically, it helps users to know what data the GI shows. So for example, customer sales summary. This helps users understand this GI is about viewing customer sales. Sitemap title is the menu name. It is how users find the GI in Acumatica. So, for example, you put sales analysis. So, in the menu, users will see sales analysis and click it to open the GI. So, screen ID is the unique reference number for the screen. So, the system knows exactly which screens we are opening. Next is the checkbox. You can click whenever you feel like you need it. So these settings, first is show deleted record. This option lets us see records that are marked as deleted. This is for some tables such as invoice and memo screen. Show archive records allow the inquiry to include historical archive information. For example, all invoices from previous years that were archived can appear. This is also for selected table, which is sales orders and shipment. Expose VRO data makes GI available outside of Acumatica for reporting or integration. For example, Power BI pull GI sales data automatically. Exposed to the mobile application is allowing users can open and view the GI from mobile devices. Next is result settings. So select top is control the maximum number of record returns. Example, select top, you put hundreds. So GI only returns the first 100 records. Next is record per page. It is to control the screen display size, not the total data. So example, you put 50. So the screen at the page 1 will shows only 50 records. Next page also will be the same 50 records. Export top controls is the amount of data sent to the Excel or export files. Attach notes is to decide which records the GI notes belong to. Now, before I dive into the demo, I will tell you crash course about the inner and outer joints. So as you can see here, this is the table 1 and table 2, and both both tables have the same fruits, but at the bottom, table 1 got tomato and table 2 strawberry. And these two tables got price and quantity. So I will explain to you about the inner I will explain to you about the inner join. So, if you are doing inner join, you are linking the first table to the second table. For example, find kiwi and apple in table 1. And if you see the table 2, so you will see the result that the system will pull the the same items, which is kiwi and apple. So left outer join. Left outer join, it will match it means I'm telling the system, you know what, no matter what's there, it takes all the item in table 1. But since there is no tomato in table 2, the quantity will be null. So, before I explain about full outer join, the right outer join is the reverse method from the left outer join. So full outer join is regardless of what, they show me everything. So as you can see, this is the result. So it pulls from table 1, table 2, the strawberry, the price is null, and the tomato, the quantity is null. Now, I will start the demo, and this is the scenario. I want to add shipping information to the sales invoice GI for specific customer that wants to receive statements with this information. Okay, first, like I told you just now. So, first I open the invoices screen. So as you can see, so this is the invoices screen, and I advise you, you need to take reference number or order number if you want to create a table. So control, alternate, and hover above the reference number. And this is the AR invoice table name. And then I will go to the generate inquiry, and then I will click on the data source, and I will click plus, and then I will type the table name. And after that, this is will be auto-populate. So the data source tab is tells Acumatica which database tables we want to retrieve information from. There are two ways to add it, either manually or add related table. So since I already added, so this only got AR invoice. This is the result grade. Uh, Result grade controls the final output shown to the users. So let's see the GI. So as you can see, this is the GI that I've built. But as you can see, this is the date is 2013. I don't want that. So how should I put the latest? I want the latest invoices. So I go to the general inquiry. I go to the sort order. I click plus, and then I go to the data field, and then I type reference number, and then I click descending since I want the latest one to be above. So as you can see now, this is 2025. Just now, 2013, right? So right now, right now, I want to add the shipping. So how I want to add the shipping is I go to the general inquiry, I go to data sources, I click add related table. But before that, you need to make sure you highlight this line. So how do I know the shipping table? So again, I go to the invoice and I go to the freight tab. Since I want to know the shipment number, again, I control, alternate, and hover above the shipment number. So I know this shipment number. So I know this is the table name for shipment number. So make sure you highlight this and you select related table. So this system will be auto join the table from SO to shipping table. So I click add. So as you can see here, the AR invoice table and shipping table already connected. So how can I know it is already connected? So I go to the relation and you can see it is auto join. AR invoice inner join with freight table. You don't need to worry about the below because as you already click it, it will be auto populated it. So the relation tabs functions is to collect multiple tables together. So this is where I explain to you about the inner join. Of course, you have the rights to change it, but we mostly use the inner join. So right now, I need to view the shipping. So I already do the shipping here. I already provide here, and I only need to click active. So how you want to do it? You click on the object, you click plus, and you click the table, these two table, whether they are or SO freight detail, and then you select whatever you want to view. So for example, uh, order number, and then the style is to for you to color it. So for example, I want to color the SO freight order number. So I do the font bold and I do the orange. Eh, You can only select one, sorry. You can only select one. So I click bold and then I click save. And then view inquiry. So so as you can see here, these order numbers already already uh already been linked. So right now, uh so right now, uh I don't want this actually because I already created it. And then next is I want to do the grouping. So what is the grouping? Grouping is to create the summary informations. So I want to group the AR invoice reference number. So I click it active. So as you can see, it's already grouped. Now before I forgot, this disable record counts total is you can disable this records count. So let me click it. So as you can see, there is no more the record counts. So you have option whether you want to disable it or no. So after you done it, I want to do the parameter. So parameter is allows users to enter values uh, and conditions is behave similarly as filter. So first, I need to click plus sign and then I choose and then the name is you can name it. So I name it as customer. And then schema field, I choose customer ID. And display name is for users to see the output, the label, sorry. So I type select customer. So I click save. and you can see there's a select customers. So you can choose whatever customer you want to view. So for example, ABC Holding, you select. But you know why it does not function? Because I do not do the conditions. So I already do the conditions. So the condition must be tally with parameter. Since I do the AR customer ID, so you can see here, this AR customer ID equals to the customers or customer is empty. So I click this as active. So again, I choose the ABC Holdings. See, you can view whatever, you can view the selected customer you want. If I click it empty, it will show every customers. And then I want to show you how can we use this condition as a filter. So for example here, you can see the status is open, right? So I want to view the status is closed. So I click it, error invoice status equals to close. So of course you need to select the customers. Oh, my mistakes. Since 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 I accidentally active this for this particular customers, that's why it doesn't shows. So I click save it again and I view inquiry. So you can see now the status is closed since we filter the status for close only. Okay. For entry point, for entry point for navigation, so this navigations is allow you to put this GI or selected screens, whether it is a new tab, same tab, pop-up windows or side panel. So let's say I put it at the side panel. So you can see this is the preview for the side panel. And I think this is the output for our GI. Let me save it again. So, before we continue, okay, for navigation, I forgot to mention, for navigation, you can click invoice and memo, and then you click view inquiry. And you will see this reference number turns into hyperlink. So when I click these reference numbers, it will open the same tab to invoice and memo screens. See, invoice and memo screens. And now, how I want to, now before I proceed to Power BI, I need to make sure to click the expose via O data and click save, and then publish. Or you can publish, or you can either publish or, oh, sorry, my mistake. You need to publish if you want to view you want to take the data to connect to Power BI. So here is the important part. So sitemap title is what you gonna view at the menu. So right now I put Awansoft sales order invoice. So I will rename it as Awansoft sales sales order invoice. And then I want to put it at workspace sales order. Workspace is here. This is workspace. So for the category, this is the category. The transaction is the category, report is the category, profile is the category. So I want to put this GI under inquiries. So I put workspace sales order under category inquiries. And then I set granted for all roles. And then I publish it. Okay, now the operation has been completed. So this general inquiry, you can go to the sales order. First you need to refresh, of course. So again, go to the workspace, sales orders, and then you go to the inquiries and you view the Awansoft sales order invoice. So you can find your GI here. Okay. Now, now we are going to proceed with Power BI. So my colleague Eric will be explaining about the Power BI. So over to you, Eric.
Right. Thank you, Putri. Okay, so what is Power BI? Power BI is a tool that turns business data into easy to understand dashboards and reports. So basically what it means is if you have a lot of tables, tabulated information, so Power BI is a tool that turns all of those raw data into visuals. Okay, so this would be easier for stakeholders to digest the information, identify the trend, and gain valuable business insights. Okay, so for comparison, Acumatica GI itself helps you on finding and organizing data that you need. Okay, ultimately, you will need to use Power BI to help you or assist you in visualizing or analyzing the data. Okay, so how do we connect Acumatica GI to Power BI? Okay, so first and foremost, what you guys will need to do is you will need to download an application called Power BI Desktop. Okay, so how can you download a Power BI Desktop? You can simply Google Power BI Desktop and you will find a downloadable link from Microsoft. Okay, so what you are seeing here is basically the development environment for Power BI. Okay, it sounds a bit technical, but I promise you it is quite easy to use. Okay, so once you have landed on this particular screen, what you can do is you will click at the get data from another source, okay, and you can search for all data at the search bar on top. Click on the all data feed and then click connect. Okay, so here is where users will get stuck. Okay, the URL. So how do we identify the URL? Okay, so we have two ways. One is for single tenant and another one is for multi-tenant. Okay, so most of you here have production environment as well as the UAT environment. So you guys will be using the second option, which is multi-tenant. Okay, for example, https awansoft.acumatica.com /odata /awansoft production. This is an example. Okay, so you all are familiar with your own Acumatica link. So that is where the company comes from. Your tenant is where you select before you log into your Acumatica screen. Okay, so in this particular case, since we are using a local host or basically a local environment, so it will be http colon double slash localhost slash demo 26R1 slash odata. So after we have clicked OK, so the system may prompt for an additional layer of authentication. Okay, so what you are seeing here is because we have inputted our own credential. So what you need to do is when the system prompts you to sign in, you will need to select the basic authentication and input your own ID and password. Okay, why are we not seeing that particular screen here is because Power BI save your credential whenever you load the same URL. So which is why you will not be able to see the login page here. Okay, so after you have successfully logged in, you will see the navigator popped up. Okay, and you will see a list of all of the GIs that has been exposed via OData. So you'll be seeing every GI here. Okay, so now since we are looking into connecting the data that we have prepared just now from the GI of SO invoice, so you just need to tick and then there will be a preview displayed to you on the right hand side. Okay, so here you have two options. You can either load the data directly into Power BI or you can perform some transformation. Okay, so we will not be covering the transformation in this stage because that would be going to too technical. Okay, so what we will do is we can simply load the data immediately. Okay, so the beauty of Acumatica is basically when you create the GI itself, you have performed some degree of transformation there. Okay, so most of the time you are not required to perform additional transformation in Power BI. You can simply load the data as is. Okay, so after you have clicked connect or click OK, it will try or attempt to load the data into Power BI. Okay, so after a while, the GI will be populated as one of the data model on the right hand side. Okay, so just give it some time. There you go. You'll be able to see Awansoft-SO invoice on the right hand side. You can also expand the data model and you'll be able to see all of the listed fields here. So all of the fields here are basically the ones that you inserted inside the result grid in Acumatica. Okay, so from here, you can build your own visualizations. For example, you would like to add a table. Okay, so as you can see, a table is being generated on the canvas. Here, left-hand side, the big white space, that is what we call a canvas. Okay, so let's just say that I would like to add the date. Okay, so after I have added the date, you can see that it has a quite a weird structure here. But no worries, that is because they are displaying to you in a hierarchy format. Okay, so what you can do is you simply click at the downside arrow here and just change it to date. And then it will be changed to this particular date formatting. Bear in mind that Acumatica displays date alongside the time element. So if you would like to display only the date element, so I'll teach you some neat trick on how to do it. So on the left-hand side, you'll be able to see table view. Just click into it and then find the date column. Okay, in this case, it will be here. You can change the data type over to date. Okay, so you can see the time element has been removed. And you can also choose your own formatting from this section here called format. Okay, let's just say that I would like it to be day, month, year formatting. So I will select that. Then I will hop over to report view and you will see the date has now been transformed to date, month, and year formatting. Okay, so let's just say that I would like to add more elements to this table. So apart from reference number, I would like to also add the status of the document. And then what is the document type? Okay, I would use this type instead. Okay, so I know that it is an invoice, cash sales, credit memo, and then I would like to see what are the shipment number being tied to it. Okay, and of course, one of the most important information, which customer does the invoice belongs to? Okay, so now you might have noticed that, okay, how do I move this customer to somewhere in between? Okay, the answer to that is simple. So you can see under this visualization section, hop over to the columns, you can simply drag customer and move it on top. So you can see that now customer has been slotted between status and type. Okay, so I would also need to add weight. Okay, because I would like to know what is the shipment weight. Okay, and perhaps I would need to add the branch as well. Okay, from where this invoice originates. Okay, so I have this information. You might have noticed that it is being specified as sum of weight. Okay, but I wouldn't like this representation. So I could simply double click at the column here, and then you may rename it to your desired header name. Okay, as you can see, it is now changed to weight. Okay, next, you might have noticed that it started from 2013. Okay, so the reference number is basically going from the oldest one to the newest one. So if you would like to sort it, what you can do is click at these three dots here, sort by reference number, and then click it again. Make sure that it is being selected as descending. Okay, so you may have noticed that inside the GI itself, we inserted a parameter, okay, to filter our data. So we can do the same here by inserting our own slicer. Okay, so we can select a slicer here. Okay, just click it. It's quite big, but you can resize it. I would like to slice it by customer. Okay, but I wouldn't want it to use this representation. It would be difficult for me to search the customer name. So what I can do is I click at the formatting of the visual, slicer setting, and you may change it to drop down. Okay, so now you can see that it is being specified this way. Okay, you can also click this to show the select all option, this one. Okay, or you can also enforce user to only produce single select. So user must select a customer in order for them to proceed. Okay, but this would not be practical. So we'll be disabling this and proceed with multi-select. Okay, so you may also control the font of the header. Okay, you can change the customer, for example, customer name. Okay, and then it will be reflected accordingly. You can also adjust the font size, make it a bit bigger. Okay, so that it is easier for you to see. Right, so we can now proceed with the values. Okay, you notice that the values is quite small, so we can make it bigger as well. Okay, bear in mind that this is just an example. Okay, because we have created another one just for the sake of presentation. Okay, let me hop over to another Power BI dashboard that we have created. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, so let's just say that you have created or developed the dashboard to a certain degree. So you may have a couple of visuals here. Okay, a table and also a donut chart, sorry. Okay, you have a customer slicer here and also the date range. Okay, so once you have created this, so how do we um, display it in Acumatica? That would be quite easy. Okay, what you need to do is simply to click this publish button. Okay, it will prompt you to save your changes. Okay, so just click yes, click save, and then you will be specified to select your own workspace. Okay, for this workspace, you may only create your own workspace if you have at least Power BI Pro license. Okay, if not, you can use my workspace for your own development. Basically, you are using free license. Okay, so in this particular case, I will just select Acumatica Demo 2026 R1 workspace that we have created. Click select, and you can see that it will prompt you, would you like to replace this data set? Okay, so if I say yes, it will override the existing report. Okay, and there will also be a link here for me to click open Awansoft in Power BI. Okay, so the one that you are viewing just now is basically the Power BI desktop, the development environment. But what you are seeing here, this is the Power BI service, the cloud version of Power BI. Additionally, we have one more called Power BI Mobile, in which you can download the app from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Okay, so this is what you can see or what is visible to you in Power BI service. Okay, now, how do I project this in Acumatica? Well, it's fairly simple. You just need to click File, Embed Report, click Website or Portal, and then you just need to copy this link. Okay, so once you have copied the link, what you need to do is hop over to your environment, Acumatica environment, okay, you will need to create your own dashboard for that. Okay, in this example, we have created our own dashboard, which you can see here. Okay, so once we have created the dashboard, that is where we need to include the widget. Okay, so ignore this because we will be viewing this final product later. But how do you add a widget inside the dashboard? You can click Add Widget. Okay, find Embedded Page. You simply need to paste the link just now over to the source, and you can insert your own caption here. Caption means to say the title of that particular Power BI dashboard. So in this case, let's just call it sales audit invoice. Okay. So after you have saved it, you'll be able to see that it has created a Power BI screen for you. Okay. So why it prompts you to sign in? Okay, this is one of the security measure because we wouldn't want unauthorized user to view reports um, with sensitive information. Okay, so which is why if you click sign in, um, there will be a pop-up indicating you to sign on your own Microsoft account. Okay, if you are on free Microsoft account, which means your own Power BI is on Power BI free license. Okay, you can see here license type. No worries because you are still able to view it. It's just that the other user will not be able to view the same report as you. Okay, in order for you to share to another user, okay, in order for you to share to another user, both you and the user must have at least Power BI Pro license. Okay, and then as the creator, he or she need to share the Power BI report first over to the user. Okay, so once it has been shared, the other party will be able to sign in and view the same thing as what you are seeing. Okay, so because this is just a test, so we will see what the full screen looks like. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, it is still interactive. You can filter here and there. You can also play around with the slices. Okay, let's just say that I would like to only view up until 2022 data. So you can see the screen filters accordingly. I would like to see some of the customers. Okay, you can see it filters accordingly. Okay, so this filter, you may not use it. Okay, you can use it as well, but I would suggest you to use the slices that was created instead. It is more intuitive that way. Okay, last but not least, if you have multiple pages, you can create multiple reports here. But bear in mind that the security row, which means that if you are not able to view certain information, the system still forbids you from seeing it. Okay? So basically, that is how we project from Acumatica GI to Power BI, and at the end of the day, embed the same Power BI report to Acumatica dashboard. Okay, so for those of you who has no experience on Power BI, so what I would like to suggest is go or navigate to app.powerbi.com. Okay, so from here, this is the landing page that you will see. Okay, even with free version, you will still be able to conduct your own learning. Okay, this is where the learn section here comes very useful. Okay, if you're unable to find this, you can also click the three dots. It would be somewhere around here. You can just pin it and then it will appear on the right hand side, on the left hand side. Okay, so you can start learning on how to use Power BI, dig into some of the documentation that Microsoft has created, and even join the Power BI community. Below will be some of the sample reports that can give you a head start. Okay, so that will be it for Power BI. So we will proceed with the rest of the webinar. Okay, so after Power BI, so we will go to AI Quick Insight in Acumatica. Okay, so in Acumatica, so they have AI available for you. Okay, but how does it work? Oh, my apologies, I accidentally clicked it. Okay, so for Acumatica, their technology vision for AI is first to be responsible. What it means is that your data, it's your own, um, it's your full ownership over your own data. Okay, you have full control. It will not be leaked to outside organization. Okay, they also focus on practicality, which means any features that they will deliver is easy to use. Okay, even though you don't have any technical background. And last but not least will be valuable. Okay, these AI features that they will introduce or have introduced to you, okay, focuses on reducing your costs, addresses your business challenges, and hopefully unlock new opportunities for you. Okay, so this is their vision. Okay, so you guys are familiar with help agent. Okay, basically what it does is there will be a help agent on the left hand side, or they are basically indicating to you that, okay, I have an issue with this order. So what help agent will do is they will point you to the support portal so that you can get a instant guidance and troubleshooting. Okay, going back to the wiki. Okay, for interactive assistant, this is where the system will be able, okay, or the AI will be able to provide you with insights. For example, show me what month is producing highest number of sales in 2026. Okay, so AI and Acumatica will be able to provide you with the data, some charts for you to gain valuable insights. So moving forward, this is their direction. Okay, they will be able to produce some form of assistant in customization, automation agent, and also digital twin. Okay, the main objective is for them to produce the digital twin. Okay, it's basically a virtual employee. Okay, which means you have another employee working for you in real time, 24/7, handling tasks, monitoring operations. Okay, they can also assist you in your own decision making. Okay, right. So some of the demo on one of the AI functionality here is on the anomaly detection. Okay, so let's just say that we have the cost of item X, but we have it across a period of time. Okay, so if we don't have the time period here, okay, so how the system will calculate is they will just average the whole cost, okay, the whole cost, and then you will only be able to identify the anomaly being January because it is $1, and December, which is about $6.5. Okay, and the rest will just be averaged out. However, with timeline, we'll be able to see, okay, it's actually increasing consistently. However, you see that, okay, in March, it produces quite an anomaly at $4. So with AI, they will identify the trend and then provide you with the anomaly of this $4 in March 2024. That is how AI in anomaly detection works. Okay, these are some of the current and future AI innovations. So what do we have in production currently is basically from AP document recognition, receipt recognition, so intelligent text completion, anomaly detection that was demonstrated just now or highlighted just now, related item assistant, whereby the system will be able to provide you with the description of the item itself. You will need to provide images, so they'll be able to provide you with a quite insightful and interesting description. AI Studio is where you can train your own LLM and AI. Okay, interactive assistant, like what I mentioned just now, you'll be able to identify what are some of the business key insights based on the data inside the system. Okay, automation agent, okay, to perform some automation based on the data that was keyed in, and AI connection services. Okay, both of these is okay. Sorry, three of these is basically still in progress. Okay, so you should be expecting them tentatively around end of the year or maybe early 2027. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So we have basically completed our webinar. So now we are open for Q&A section from your side. Okay. At the moment, what I'm seeing is that there's nobody posting any questions in chat. Okay. In the essence of time, if you are not familiar on what to ask yet, okay, because I understand you, most probably you will need to explore the system first, play around with the GI, try to connect with Power BI. Then at that point onwards, you will have your own questions. Okay, if you do, please feel free to send us please feel free to send us an email. Okay, and then we will address to you promptly. Okay. Of course, if you have any questions, please do ask. We are open to answer to you. Okay, because we are ahead of time. It's 11:58, just in time for about 12 o'clock. Okay, so if you have any, please do ask. If not, please do reach out to us via email. Okay, so we will leave the platform open until 12 o'clock. Thank you.